Hey guys, how are you tonight? I was going through my footage from the day to put together a video, and I didn't have a lot, and it's because I didn't do a lot. So I wanted to chat about that for a minute. One of the things that I see as a really big failing in the horse community and in farming as well is not being able to take enough time away. Not feeling like you can take time away, or that you don't deserve to, you can't trust other people with your animals, all those sorts of things. And I am really blessed right now in that I don't live on site with my horses. I don't have to provide the day-to-day care for my own animals. So Monday to Friday I'm in someone else's barn, but on a Saturday or a Sunday, I don't have to set an alarm. I don't have to get up with the sun. And I'm really grateful for that because I know that I can get into the headspace of go, go, go all day on the farm. And this past week was crazy. So when I got out of bed on a Saturday morning, well, Saturday at lunchtime really, and did not want to make plans for the day, I didn't. It took me a lot of years to learn to just honor that, and I still struggle with it. I still don't always give in to that in a way that's healthy. Sometimes I take 2 or 3 hours out, or I just sleep in and call it good, or sometimes I book a whole day out to not do anything, but the self-talk gets into my head and is really negative. And I really want people to be better to themselves. This weekend I didn't do a lot, and I don't feel guilty for it, and it's fantastic. It's been a long time to get to that place, but farming and horse care takes a toll on the body and on the mind, and we need rest. I know one of the biggest changes I've made for me in the last 1.5 to 2 years is really, really, really focusing on my quality of sleep and amount of sleep. And I don't always get it right, but it has made such an enormous improvement in my mental health, and I'm sure to an extent in my physical health as well. As much as that's not where I want it to be, neither is my mental health. But I had to start by just taking small steps, and I'm finally getting to a point where those small steps where I'm not shaming myself or guilting myself for those small steps, which is a fantastic place to be. So if all you do on a Saturday is nothing, that's okay. The only thing I did on the farm was check on my horses because they've been out in the rain for part of the day, make sure they were warm enough, make sure I had 3 or 4 more days of supplement and grain pre-mixed for the barn to feed them, and I gave them some cookies, and I said goodnight. And that's okay. I don't mind that at all. I love them. They don't care if they get ridden. That's definitely a story we tell ourselves a lot too. They need to be worked, they need to be exercised, and there is some truth to that in certain scenarios. Right now I have a broodmare and a 2.5-year-old, so if nobody's getting ridden, that's exactly the plan, and that's fine. If somebody's in training for a competition and they're supposed to be on a 6-day-a-week program, maybe you 1 week you do 5 days and that's okay, or maybe you find somebody to do your trot sets and that's fine. But I understand that there's less wiggle room in those scenarios. Or if your horse is on stall rest and needs hand walking, or if your horse is just in a scenario where they don't get a lot of turnout and your riding time is their time outside of their stall, that can be an additional pressure. I know that when I get into foaling season, I am going to lose a lot of sleep. I'm actually not foaling for anybody else this year for the first time in about 6 years. And that's a big pressure off, as much as the difference in income scares me a little bit. I also know that it probably won't actually matter at the end of the day, because the time I was sinking into recovering from switching my schedule back and forth 3 or 4 nights a week was meaning that I couldn't take on extra clients or extra students. And this year, not only will I have the freedom to foal out my own horse, and maybe take on 1 or 2 outside mares if I want to, but I will actually be awake during the day if I want to take on extra training horses or students. So, at the end of the day, I really just wanted to sit down and say, self-care is important, and we need to stop treating it like another task on the list. As much as that's a great place to start, if that's all you can wrap your head around, we need to be okay, and I need this reminder as much as anybody else does, we need to be okay with needing some time off. And I'm really enjoying it right now. I'm soaking it in because I know that when I start up a farm, as soon as I find a place to lease, I am not going to be in a position to take much time off until I grow to a point where I can hire in some help. So I am really going to take advantage of the time I have now, and if that means doing absolutely nothing, then it means doing nothing. If it means not leaving the house, but I put on a couple of training webinars or read a book, that's okay too. Sometimes it's just an office day because my knees hurt and my back hurts and I can't ride or I can't go out and do chores, and that's okay. But it took me a long time to get to a place where whatever I need in a day is okay. And I'm still not great at it, but that's what I'm moving towards. So hopefully that helps someone out there. I have really enjoyed doing Vlogmas so far. I know there's only like 5 or 6 of you watching each of these videos, but I hope this helps somebody. You know, let me know in the comments if taking time away from the barn is something you struggle with, because I think it's pretty common in horse people. I hope you have had a great weekend, and I will chat with you tomorrow. Have a good night.